Hi everyone, it's Kate from the Fold Line. I am back this week with the edit. This is our weekly roundup of new sewing patterns. How are you? Have you had a nice week? How is everyone's sewing going? It feels like we're fully, well, I don't know about you, but mine's sort of been rocket launched the last kind of week or two, which is nice. And there are some great patterns this week. So, gonna get started. First up, we have got some patterns from Iron Patterns. There are 4 new ones. I'm gonna just talk about a couple of them. So make sure you go and have a look, which is really nice. I love it when you get a kind of drop of patterns from a designer. So they're PDF only, these ones. They're available in sizes UK 6 to 18. There are the two I'm going to talk about are jacket patterns. The other one, there's a jumper and a pair of joggers. So the first one is the Gaston jacket. And is anyone else thinking that do you think it was named after Gaston from Beauty and the Beast? That's the first big question we've got for everyone. I think it might be, but maybe it's probably not, isn't it? So this feels like a bit of I like this shape actually. So it feels like a mixture of a bomber jacket, or a workwear jacket, and a denim jacket. So I'll show you the line drawing so you can see there are different variations in terms of the pockets. You either have no pockets, patch pockets, welt pockets, poppers down the front. You can either have it with a collar or you can have it without, which then as soon as you take the collar off, it feels like quite a different jacket. And the thing I love about Iron Patterns is they always make it in quite a lot of different variations, so it feels, you can really get a feel of what it's like. Like the one that's collarless almost feels almost like a cardigan. So I like the idea that you could wear this as a jacket or as a cardigan. The other pattern they've got is the bob trench coat, which is really nice. It's got quite a lot of trench coat details, but it's definitely pared back, which I really like. So it feels a little bit more feminine, a bit more elegant. So there's a storm flap at the front, there's a high neckline, buttons which are kind of hidden, obviously a belt as well, and there's a storm flap on the back as well. So there's lots of details there, but it has it's slightly more pared back than your traditional trench coat, and the cut of it I really like as well. So it sits sort of mid-thigh, so it's a slightly shorter cut on it, which I feel is quite nice actually. So definitely make sure you go and have a look at all of theirs. Next up, we've got a really lovely pattern from Merchant of Mills. It's the Margot Dress. I'm sure many of you have seen it already. It's PDF only at the moment. It will come as paper, but it will be there's usually a bit of a delay. Sizes 6 to 28, and they come in 2 different size bandings. So just make sure when you pick the right one. And it's a classic dungaree dress, but the thing that is interesting is that it is cut so that it's quite baggy, and the length of it, so it's like a long dungaree dress, which is really interesting, very much on trend at the moment. There were a lot of long skirts and dresses this season, and I think having it in that structured fabric, because you probably make it something like a denim, it feels interesting. So in terms of the line drawing, let's have a look at what's going on. You can see that it's got the really nice kind of cross detail at the back. It's got actually quite a lot of detailing. You're going to get really good at top stitching with this. 3 little buttons down here, but really the fit is quite baggy, so you're not going to have all the fit issues, so you can just put all the time into getting the fit right into the make time, and you've got the same thing. So that one is definitely worth having a look at. I think I say that about everything. That is definitely worth having a look at. I will try and stop. Next up, we've got the Maker's Atelier Maxi Skirt. This comes in sizes UK 4 to 20. It's available as a PDF only. I love this. So on trend. She's just nails it again. She does really great, simple patterns so well. So the thing for me that is really great about this pattern in terms of it being on trend, it looks a little bit, you know, if you saw my Sew the Trends, they had a lot of cargo skirts. This is the same feel as one of those cargo skirts, but it also ticks the box of those midi denim skirts with the slit up the front. I think it's really clever. I think it's but it's really elegant as well. So it's sort of more elevated than any of those. And It's got a really nice slit up the back as well, so it means that you can walk, because if you don't get the slit right on these, you end up walking like a penguin. I just think it's a really great pattern. So if you haven't seen it yet and you're thinking about a sort of skirt for winter, this to me feels like a really fab option. Next up, we've got the Cassie Dress from Sew Over, PDF only, sizes 6 to 30. Great dress actually, this one. They've had some really nice patterns recently from Sew Over It. Very simple actually dress. So it's got this really great shirred detail on the top of the dress, and then kind of quite relaxed fit in the bottom. There's elasticated round the bottom where the shearing ends, because it then adds a bit of kind of definition. But they described it, which I thought was quite interesting, was wearing something that's woven that feels like it's knit, which I completely get actually, because you've got that movement in the front of it and yet it's still a woven fabric. So I think it's really great. It doesn't have any fastenings, you can just pull it on. It's great if you haven't done it before, and yeah, it's a really nice one. So you can either make it with, there's different sleeve options, and obviously you can alter it if you wanted to make it longer or shorter, but I thought that was a really lovely pattern. So if you haven't seen that, go and check it out. So we've got a really interesting pattern from Puff and Pencil. It's called the Panel Dress. It comes in sizes UK 6 to 24. Very much, this to me feels very on trend. I know I keep saying that, but for this season. So it's almost like quite a simple sort of shift dress. It's got bust darts. It's got a little tie feature at the back. The thing that is interesting is it's got this panel sewn each side of the armhole with little tabs which you tie up the side. So you add your shaping to the dress by tying up the little ties as tight or as loose as you want them. There's a slit up the back, and I just think it's really great. I think it's such a cool layering piece. I think it would look amazing with, I like that they've styled it with a pair of trousers underneath. I think you could wear it with a polo neck underneath for winter, or a shirt. It would look really nice with a shirt underneath. Underneath the dress. It's just quite interesting. It almost feels more like a layering piece than a dress, but I love the seam lines in it. I think it's really interesting. I think you could almost have the side in a different colour fabric or a different style fabric. You could have a sheer panel down the side if you wanted to. It would make it really interesting. Anyway, that to me was a really great pattern, so definitely go and have a look at it. Chalk and Notch have a really lovely top. I don't know how they manage to do it, but they produce, whenever they release a pattern, I look at it and I'm like, oh, that's quite nice. And then I start looking through all the photos. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so nice. That's really clever. That's really beautiful. And they're always quite simple. So if you haven't come across Chalk and Notch before, they are really worth going and look at. They have some really fab patterns. So PDF only for this one, available in sizes UK 8 to 30. There are 3 variations with this top. If I show you the line drawing first, as you can see, really simple, grown on sleeves, so none of that armhole malarkey. There is elastic at the bottom of the sleeve and also at the bottom of the top, so to kind of cinch it in. There are different neckline options, and the one that I really love is the second version with that square back, which I think is really beautiful. Now, if I show you a picture, you can see what I mean. So it's cut so that you can still wear your bra. You know, don't need to worry about any of that. But I really like the big sort of frill at the bottom. It's just the proportions of, she manages to get the proportions of stuff so spot on. I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. So top wise, go and have a look. And the other thing that she has done is she's released it as a kids pattern as well. So I know some people do like to make either like matching, but also it's great because you'll have learned all the techniques. Make the kids one first if you're going to do it, so you can make any of your mistakes on theirs because they won't notice, and then make your one second and you'll learn all the skills. But I thought it was really cute actually. So the kids pattern comes in sizes 12 months to 12 years, so it's actually a really great size range for this. And yeah, so you can make matching if you like that. Last but not least, we've got another pattern. It's a paper pattern scissors pattern. If you haven't come across them before, really fab kids patterns. The thing that I love about them is they're very gender fluid, which quite a lot of the patterns aren't, and they always have really lovely details, so definitely go and have a look. Right, so this one is called the Sydney Tee. You can see it comes with different variations. You can make it long sleeve, short sleeve. There's this really nice detail with the sort of crossover back, and then there's also a version where you can have a seam down the centre front, which makes really fun for pattern play or colour blocking. It's just a lovely pattern and a really useful one as well, especially the long sleeve one. You know, now we're going into winter, but you can make something quite quickly and make it quite interesting. So I think that one is definitely worth going and having a look. It's PDF only, and sizing on this is 1 to 11 years. So it's got another one with a really good size range. I just love them. And she always makes them in such inspirational, like, colour ways that I'm always like, oh yes, I'd love to do that. And the pocket on the front of it is really oversized. It's just, she is really good at what she does. So go and have a look at that. So that is it from me this week. I hope that was useful and you found something nice and kind of got your creative juices flowing. We'll be back next week with another video. Have a lovely weekend. Bye.